Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is a Scent Safari episode, and today we're taking a look at the House of Regime de Fleurs. Now, Scent Safari, for those of you who don't know, is a series on my channel where I reach out to a fragrance house that I don't know that much about, usually one I don't have any fragrances from, and I ask them to send me some samples, and if they do, I pick four, and a couple hours before the episode I apply them to skin, and then a couple minutes before the episode I reapply them so that I have a pretty good feeling of what those fragrances are like. Not a mastery, obviously, but enough to give you guys probably a pretty solid first impression. And before we take a look at the four fragrances that I picked out for this episode, let me first give you some background information on Regime de Fleurs. This is an American house that was founded in 2013 by Leah Raza and Ezra Woods. They were friends who bonded over their love of flowers and interest in perfumes, and that led to some experimentation with flower extracts and personal scents. Now, in 2014, they launched 6 fragrances in 3 tiers: the lyric tier, the ballad, and the epic. And later they launched collection 2, which added an additional scent to each category. Now, in New York, Bergdorf is listed as a stockist, as is Apartment. In LA, Maxified and Scent Bar have this, as well as a few other locations. There is a full list of stockists on their website, which of course I will link to in the description. And before we get into the 4, I want to just tell you how much I love the way Regime de Fleurs sent me their fragrances. It came in the box you see, and it says sampling flight, and you see each fragrance is there, and then you have the name of the fragrance, a little description, and the notes. And then there's 2 layers, because there's also the epics, and you can see the 2 they gave me there. These are way more expensive, so there's some more information, but they sent me 9 fragrances in total. So let's take a look at the 4 that I found, or at least I thought would be the most interesting, and the 4 that I tried today. Free World is the first one, and Free World is from their Lyric collection, and the retail on Free World is $165 for 33 ml. The notes on Free World are geranium, citruses, neroli, nutmeg, coriander, sandalwood, vanilla, and aldehydes. And I really enjoy this one. To me, this is about very fizzy aldehydes with geranium and lemon. And this one is supposed to be an American Oriental. It is so bright and gorgeous. There's a lot of neroli peeking out. It's light, it's breezy, it's refreshing. And the reason that I try these a couple hours before I post is because I like to see what scents dry down to. This one has a very nice nutmeg and a base of nutmeg and vanilla. This smells to me sort of like it could have been a Comme des Garçons fragrance, done correctly and sort of more familiar. Sometimes Comme des Garçons fragrances can be a little too out there for me, but this is a really well done fragrance. The notes smell authentic and natural, and I really love this one. Dove Gray is the next one that I want to talk to you guys about. Dove Gray is a little more expensive. 55 ml is $325, and the notes on Dove Gray are metallic aldehydes, Orris concrete, white pepper powder, tarragon essential oil, dry buds of tuberose, lavender and violet, Earl Grey vapor, willow, slate musk, and permature. Now this one, wow guys, oof, really, really nice aldehydes, more aldehydes, cold and sterile aldehydes. I get like a concrete and steel vibe out of this one. It's futuristic. There's a scene in the film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure where they go to the future and they meet with, I think, George Carlin, and they're just bugged out because you see all these people playing air guitars, trying to honor them. And this is sort of what I could see that room smelling like. It's exquisite work. I get dried floral buds, and the dried floral buds, may not make sense, but they almost have like a purple smell to them. it's just a dope scent. It's a really dope fragrance. It smells like Chanel or Ernest Beau doing fragrances 200 years in the future. I like this. I would definitely get this, and the price, which kind of at first made me wonder what they were thinking, definitely makes sense to me. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is called Fauna, or Fauna, and that one is 55 ml for $325. And the notes on this one are genuine extractions of Indian and Laotian agar woods, so oud, saffron, coffee blossom, sumac, grains and nuts, petitgrain, bergamot, castoreum, night blooms, and albino musk. Now, first off with this one, huge amount of credit here. This to me is a dirty and skanky oud. It is that. Too often perfumers do an oud scent and they add rose and they call it a day. I've done an oud scent, and this is not that. This is a very raw but refined oud. You're going to get castoreum. This one has barnyard. Thankfully, it is reined in enough that to me it is wearable. Now, with that said, I would say you want to test this one out. What I get here is a funky oud, a touch of bergamot, some coffee, and that animalic castoreum. Would I pay $325 for this one? Probably not. But I have a feeling that reviewers out there who love their ouds with some kick, the Robes 08, the Mickers, the Renees of the world, I think they'll really enjoy this one because this is the real deal. And I'll tell you what, I actually had a chance to smell some Laotian oud, and the two fragrances that I've smelled that smell really close to like legit oud are this one and Brooklyn Perfume Company's oud. So those are the realest oud fragrances that I've smelled in terms of close to the oud, that the natural, very expensive oud that I smelled. So the final one I want to look at, guys, today is called Nymphaea. I believe Nymphaea Carilla, and it 8.5 ml is $425. So this one is pricey. The notes on this one are Egyptian blue lotus, Indian blue lotus, Hawaiian blue lotus, Sri Lankan blue lotus. We've got Thai blue lotus, white ambergris, aurora reconstitution, Nile water, lily head space, pandanus, amaryllis, salty water, and the absolute of 15 different flowers. And this is just beautiful. The quality here is unreal. It's striking. This is a watery, airy floral. It makes me think of blue. This makes me think of light blue and white. It's airy, but there's a density to it that makes you know, or at least lets you know, you're dealing with really high-end materials. I don't know that I've ever smelled a floral fragrance of this quality, and that includes Muguet by Guerlain. This one is airy and watery and lush and powerful in a deceptive way. This is a fragrance you put on and you think it's gone, and you'll be getting whiffs hours after you think it's gone. Just insanely made. For me, probably a little too floral for me to wear something like this, but man, can I appreciate this one, and I can't wait to let some females I know get their nose on this, because this is, I mean, to me, this is as good as florals get. You know, florals, I feel like to do floral scents, you really have to do something either different or of insanely high quality, and this is an insanely high quality to me. And so my takeaway with this my first look at Regime de Fleur, you know, some people think there's 3 tiers of fragrances. There's your sort of cheap drugstore brands, your Stetsons and your Brutes. There's your designer stuff, you know, the Pradas and the Guccis, and usually made by huge conglomerates with the exception of Chanel and Dior and Hermes. And then people think there's your niche and indie and Andy Tower and Amouage and stuff like that. Well, I feel like there's a 4th tier, and that's sort of an almost version of the culinary farm to table experience, where materials are carefully sourced and science is used to produce the best extractions possible. But with that said, that's all well and good, because if you don't know what you're doing, then all of the technology in the world will not save you. You know, I used to say when I had a food blog that the worst food in the world to me was bad molecular gastronomy. And so when I was reading copy of Regime de Fleurs, I was really prepared to be let down, but I'm really happy that this house is in great hands and they're doing a lot of different things well. The floral extractions, the funky and daring fauna, the cold steel gray, almost concrete dove gray, the very effervescent and almost alive free world. Just a very exciting house, and one that you're really missing out on if you're not taking a look at this house. There's just great stuff here. It's really different. And the sourcing of the materials is impeccable, and I really appreciate that. I really like when perfumers go out of their way to get amazing ingredients. That's how you make amazing fragrances. You know, they always say that cooking, the best dish is only going to be as good as your worst ingredient. And so everything matters, and it very obviously matters with Regime de Fleurs. So please get your nose on these, get the sampling flight if you're able to, and check these out. Guys, that has been my Scent Safari on this house. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'll see you this week with more videos, guys. You know what it is.
Trees, eat some dinner, drink wine. Talk about your mind frame, cause the stars is out, and baby, you so fine. I just hope you got a different mentality. Seen a lot of places and a lot of nationalities, and yo, turned up everywhere, it's the same. Different people, different places.